Welcome back to the Indianapolis Colts Syndicate. Today, we're going to be talking about whether or not Michael Pittman Jr. deserves to get the contract that he wants. Receivers right now are making up to $30 million. And going into the offseason next year, the Colts are expected to have $63 million in cap space. So even if they waited, they did not get Michael Pittman Jr. signed this season, and they wanted to wait till after the season. They have $63 million expected that they're going to have in 2024. And right now you have Anthony Richardson on his rookie deal. As long as your quarterback's on his rookie contract, you have a little bit of freedom to make some stuff happen. And I think Michael Pittman Jr. might not be worth the $30 million. I think we'd all agree what we've seen from him in his career. He's had great moments, but he hasn't been at the top of the charts in terms of receivers. So I don't think anybody would say, even him, I don't think he would say that he deserves to get the $30 million contract that Tyreek Hills of the world have, that Devontae Adams making almost $30 million. I don't think we can expect Michael Pittman, even if he doesn't get a contract from the Colts, it won't be for $30 million. And you look at who else needs to get paid. We kind of already talked about it when we talked about Jonathan Taylor in his payday. You're looking at Grover Stewart, Kenny Moore, and Julian Blackman, that their contracts are going to be running up after this season. Now, also in that category is going to be Jonathan Taylor. At the current moment, it's unclear whether or not Jonathan Taylor is going to get paid. If you'd asked me a couple days ago, I would have said, yeah, Jonathan Taylor is going to get paid. You have to figure out a way to pay him and Michael Pittman Jr. But at this point, I'm not sure if Jonathan Taylor is going to be getting paid. So I think the path is clear for Michael Pittman Jr. to get his contract. And I think the contract that he deserves and the contract that he'll want, I think will be able to work for the Colts. I think his contract, if I had to guess, is going to be probably right around, 21, 22, $23 million a year, especially if he's able to perform well in 2023. I feel like with the way the cap goes up every single year, I think it's 10% or 20% is going up every single year. And with that increase, I think you can afford to give Michael Pittman Jr. that kind of contract. A lot of teams are giving wide receivers contracts. It's the way things are now. Running backs stop getting paid, wide receivers start getting paid. So I think this is something that can work out. You look further into the future at Colts that need to get paid. It's DeForest Buckner, Kwity Paye, Dio Dangbo, and Zaire Franklin at the current moment. You look past that, at some point, maybe you want to pay Alec Pierce. So Chris Ballard, as the general manager, is going to have to think about all these things in the future for what he wants to do right now. But again, having Anthony Richardson on his rookie deal, you have the freedom to make moves like this and be able to pay these guys. He was able to pay Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson and Braden Smith on the offensive line. He's able to pay Shaq Leonard a big deal at linebacker. And he was able to do all this while paying quarterbacks $25 million a year. Now he has Anthony Richardson on a rookie deal. Now you have a little more freedom. So right now, if you give Michael Pittman Jr. a 4-year contract, he's going to be north of 30 by the time that deal's done. But I think with the toughness that you see from Michael Pittman Jr., the kind of player he is, he kind of reminds me of a Mike Evans. Big body, can jump up, go get the ball, can make plays, good route runner. So I feel like a 4-year contract for $88 million, maybe 58 of that is guaranteed. I feel like that would be a good deal for Michael Pittman. If I'm a Colts fan and that's the deal that Michael Pittman ends up signing, I'd be pretty happy with the fact that we get Michael Pittman Jr. for 4 more years with our quarterback on his rookie deal. And with the way this team can grow with Anthony Richardson on his rookie deal, it's exciting to think that Michael Pittman Jr. is just entering his prime. All right, but if you give Michael Pittman Jr. that deal, right, let's say that's what it is, 4 years, $88 million. If you look into the future on possible free agent wide receivers, there are a lot of really good wide receivers that are number 2s on teams that can be number 1s for other teams, but aren't going to be able to get paid as number 1s for certain teams, right? And the perfect example of that is T. Higgins for the Bengals. If he ends up not getting paid by the Bengals, then as a Colts fan, it would be great to have him instead of Michael Pittman Jr. And that's just the truth. Michael Pittman Jr. is great. He's a great run blocker. He's a tough receiver. I think he can be a number 1 receiver. But T. Higgins is he's different. T. Higgins is a for sure number 1 receiver. Throw him on to any team in the league, and he can be a number one. But the Bengals are clearly focused on Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So I think if T. Higgins leaves Cincinnati, that'd be an interesting signing for the Colts. I think there are other receivers coming up over the next, 1 to 2 years that you could end up paying while Anthony Richardson on his rookie deal. But that gets tougher to do if you pay Michael Pittman Jr., which is why I feel like they're going to wait till the season's done. They're going to see what happens with Pittman this year, and then they're going to evaluate the receivers in free agency next year and see whether or not they want to give Michael Pittman Jr. that contract. I'd love to know what you think. Would you give Michael Pittman Jr. $20+ million a year? Do you think he's worth that? Do you think we should give him up? You let me know down in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep coming back for more Colts content. We'll see you for the next video.